I want to slow jam the news, and I'm not the only one.
I'm President Barack Obama, and I, too, want to slow jam the news.
Welcome back to Harvard. Even President Obama's detractors have got to admit he's a truly gifted campaigner. And his appearance on Late Night with Jimmy Fallon last night, along with 3 visits to 3 colleges in the last 24 hours, made clear that when it comes to campaigning, he's in a class by himself. Here he raises the bar by, as he said, slow jamming the news. Let's listen.
Now is not the time to make school more expensive for our young people.
Oh, yeah. You should listen to the president. Or as I like to call him, the Preezy of the United Steezy.
The reason it's so important to keep down costs is so we keep college affordable.
And the president knows his stuff, y'all. That's why they call him the POTUS, which means person on top. What is it?
Jimmy, POTUS stands for President of the United States.
He's the POTUS with the most stuff.
I don't know. Well, the president's obvious season campaigning generally, whether on late night TV or mixing up with college students, is in sharp contrast, let's admit, to Romney. Will it be enough to beat Romney? Well, Joan Walsh is MSNBC political analyst, superb, nonpareil, and editor-at-large for Salon, of course, and Aaron McPike is a political reporter at the inestimable Real Clear Politics, which many years ago I discovered is a great place to figure out who's winning different races. Anyway, let's go to this, Joan. This campaigning here, I want to I'll take a look here at the yogurt situation. Here, President made an unscheduled stop at a college dive bar in Boulder, Colorado called The Sink, and wound up being accidentally doused in frozen yogurt. That's the stuff that tastes good that belonged to a student there. Mm-hmm. After a little ribbing, Obama quickly put the young woman at ease. Let's watch him.
Oh, look at you got me. You got me. That's okay. Whose yogurt got on it?
I'm really sorry. It was mine.
You got a good story to tell.
Wow, John, what do you think of this? This guy has good synapse. Oh, by the way, later on, speaking at the University of Colorado, the president joked about the yogurt incident. Let's listen.
I was shaking hands with folks outside, and a young woman, she got very excited and spilled yogurt on me. More hazardously, she spilled yogurt on the Secret Service, which you just... The agent just stood there, just looking at her.
Wow, Joan, I get charmed fairly easily by different politicians, and here he is doing his best. I'll tell you, he does have a pretty good ability to connect and to adapt to strange circumstances like getting splashed with yogurt.
Splashed with yogurt, Chris, and not all of us could slow jam the news. I'm not sure I'd be up to it, so that was very funny, too. I mean, look, it's really problematic for Mitt Romney because, as you were talking about before, it's not just that he's awkward, it's that he seems so entitled. And, when he gets offered cookies, he makes jokes about the cookies rather than graciously accepting the cookies like we were all taught. You take food from people, every culture, that's a nicety, that's a kindness. And Mitt Romney just can't compete on this basic human relationship level. So, I've seen a lot of wingnuts today suggesting that President Obama's appearance was some kind of violation of campaign finance law, which is ridiculous, but they're desperate. That went very well for him.
Making your point here, Mitt Romney just couldn't have the same gift, apparently, for retail, getting along with people politics. Last week in Pittsburgh, as you said, he managed to offend many local people in Pittsburgh when he questioned the cookies from a famous area bakery. Let's listen to this absurdity.
I'm not sure about these cookies. They don't look like you made them. Did you make those cookies? You didn't, did you? No. They came from the local 7-Eleven bakery or wherever.
That's it. Put down the local product. Good move there. And while campaigning in June, Romney, a multi-millionaire, met with a couple of unemployed Floridians and had this cringe-inducing line.
I should also tell my story. I'm also unemployed.
Well, that's a hoot, Aaron. What is he? You don't make fun about being unemployed when there's real unemployed people there who are going through the humiliation of it, and you're a quarter billionaire, and they know it.
Yeah, and that, I think, is why we keep hearing the president say, Michelle and I were paying off our student loans just 8 years ago. You know, it's not just the finances, I think, that Obama is better at relating to people. He's better at relating by saying, I've been through some of the same struggles that you have, and he understands college kids. And he's almost sometimes, when he's campaigning, surprised that he's the president of the United States, you know, as he just said yesterday, you know, I'm the president of the United States, and I just paid off my student loans 8 years ago. Same thing, this girl spilling yogurt on him. Can you believe it? She's got a story to tell. You know, I'm the president of the United States, and here she is spilling yogurt on me. I mean, he's surprised sometimes, and people like that. I
really think you said that well. Let me go back to Joan. If you think Romney's pompous now, can you imagine what it'd be like if he were president? I mean, think about it. The sense of entitlement that exudes from him, that he talks about we need to be congratulated for our success with money making. Imagine if he were actually elected, what he'd be like. I don't think he'd be connecting to regular people.
And Ann Romney, who generally has been the likable of the pair, saying it's Mitt's time, it's our turn. There's just going to be this incredible contrast between these people who act like they were to the manner born and these other two people who have been, you know, fortunate products of the American dream, who always seem, as Aaron says, a little bit surprised and taken aback by their extreme success and are pretty darn gracious about it most of the time.
I'm trying to run it about the students. He's working the students down, people in their 20s and people who are still in school. Which of them will vote for Romney? It seems to me the only ones that would naturally be driven to someone like him would be the B school people. Some of the kids in business school who can't wait to go out there and make money in equity or in Wall Street as fast as they can, no matter how they make it. And they'll say, yeah, I want to be like him.
Well, it's funny that
would be a small group of kids, I think.
I've actually talked to some MBA holders who say that very thing when you're trying to figure out who is it that really loves Mitt Romney and wants him desperately to be president. It is those people who realize that he did a lot with venture capitalism.
And would be good on their tax bracket, their tax coverage. They wouldn't be taxed much.
But they appreciate what he's done because they understand it, whereas so few people do.
Yeah, well, okay, get back to that. If he focuses on his success, as he calls it, being rich, and he focuses on the need to be congratulated for it, won't he put himself in a corner and have to explain how he made the money? All the chop shop, all the breaking up of corporations, buying little companies and breaking them up, selling them off, making the money and firing people, which he says he likes to do.
Well, he hasn't yet defined what success was at Bain. You know, he hasn't said what are the lessons he's learned.
Money.
Well, evidently so. That's what we talked about.
That's what he says.
But he won't go out and say, what lessons did I learn from turning around these companies and making them successful that I would then apply to the government. He's just a consultant.
Imagine you're out there, you're a good teacher. There are a lot of them out there. You're busting your hump every day to be a good teacher. To bring out, maybe you're working at a magnet school, maybe at a tough inner city school, and you're working real hard and you're making 40 or 50 or whatever. Maybe you're making one of the top salaries. And there along comes a guy who says, no, the way I look at things is the people that make the really big money, they're the ones to be congratulated. Not the cop who risks his life every night, the firefighter or anybody. No, not the teacher who sweats it out and never makes big money, maybe retires okay, but never rich. These people are not to be congratulated. Oh, no, the ones from Bain Capital, the Garden Geckos, the big money people, the successful people like me, the quarter billionaires. How's that going to sell, Joan, to people that aren't like that, the small group that see themselves in Romney's shoes someday?
I don't think it's going to sell. On the other hand, cautionary note for the president. I know, congratulatory. Not that we should all respect each other. It's congratulations. So talk about class warfare. It's really elevating one class above another. On the other hand, I just do want to say that the president is going to get most young people's votes for sure. The question is really going to be excitement and turnout in November. And I think he's right to focus on the student loan issue because student loan indebtedness is now bigger than credit card debt in our country. Chris, that's a scandal. But there's a lot more that we need to do about college affordability. When I went to school, it was $300 a semester. I'm not that old. We really aren't making the American dream possible for kids anymore. And I think the president needs to talk more about that directly to young people.
Well, maybe he'll get more votes if it looks like he's running against Goldfinger. Anyway, thank you, Joan Walsh. Thank you, Aaron McPike.